You're sitting in a steel gray government office. No windows. A man in a suit slides a folder across the desk. He introduces himself only as director. He says, "We've been watching you. We know what you write. We know what you think. We know what you want. And we can give it all to you, but only if you help us reshape how 200 million people see reality. You've been unemployed for 8 months. You wrote critical articles about government corruption. They destroyed your career. Your apartment has an eviction notice on the kitchen counter. Your savings are gone. Your credibility is shattered. And now this man is offering you $180,000 a year, a government apartment, a security detail, immunity from persecution, unfathomable power." He's still talking. "Think about it for 24 hours, he says. "But understand, once you walk through that door, there's no walking back. You know you're going to take this job before you even leave the office." Level 1. The recruitment. You walk into the regime's information ministry building for the first time. The marble floors are polished. Armed guards stand at every corner. The casual display of power is intoxicating. You're trembling slightly as the director walks you to your new office. He introduces you to your new team, 47 people, all reporting directly to you. Analysts, writers, digital specialists, psychologists. They stare at you with expressions you can't quite read. Some look ambitious. Some look dead inside. Your salary is deposited into a government account within hours. Your apartment is assigned in a secure district. It's nicer than anywhere you've ever lived. A car arrives, a driver, security detail. Within 48 hours, you've been lifted from desperation into the inner circle of power. You rationalize everything. "I'll just take the money. I'll keep my integrity. I'll do minimal work. I'll get out when I've saved enough." You don't understand the trap yet. The trap is that you've already been caught. On day 1, the director gives you a simple assignment. A news story broke this morning. Government security forces killed 23 protesters in a southern city. The footage is spreading online. Your job is to reframe it. He doesn't say lie. He says manage the narrative. He says provide context. He says counter the Western propaganda machine. You sit at your desk. You've crossed a line. You didn't even realize you were crossing it. By the end of week 1, you've already lied to 40 million people, and nobody's even asked you to do anything truly evil yet. Level 2. The narrative architect. 2 months in, and you're designing the daily narrative. Every morning at 6 a.m., you receive a briefing. What story needs controlling today? A protest in the streets? A government scandal? An economic collapse nobody can ignore? A mass casualty event the regime caused? Your job is to create competing narratives, 5, sometimes 7 different versions of the same event. You release them strategically across platforms. State media broadcasts the official version. Social media bots amplify alternative narratives that sound grassroots but aren't. Influencers repeat talking points. The algorithms, the ones your team controls, ensure the approved version dominates by 2 p.m. And it works. Within hours, millions of people are repeating your talking points. They think they've arrived at these conclusions themselves. They don't know they've been guided. They don't know their thoughts were constructed for them. You've rewritten reality in real time. You start to understand your power. You're not just managing information. You're manufacturing consent. You're shaping how 200 million people see the world. A government killing of 12 protesters happens on a Tuesday. You receive the order. Suppress the story. Don't censor it. That looks bad. Instead, you create a competing narrative. The protesters were foreign-funded terrorists. They were planning an attack. The government was forced to defend itself. Evidence? You'll fabricate it. Video? You'll create it. Expert testimony? You'll manufacture it. Within 72 hours, your narrative has dominated the information space. The regime's approval ratings actually rise.
People feel safer knowing the government protected them from terrorists. You've just killed the truth and made the regime stronger. And you've discovered something horrifying. There's no such thing as truth anymore. There's only narratives with better distribution networks, and you control the network. Level 3, the digital architect. You're promoted. Your new title is Chief of Information Suppression. Your team has grown to 180 people. Your budget is classified. Your authority is almost unlimited. You're now overseeing algorithmic control at scale. Your team has built an AI system that identifies dissenting content in real time. Shadow banning, demotion, bot flooding. You're not censoring, you're just adjusting recommendation algorithms. It's technical, it's legal. It's not your decision, it's just code. You watch a popular activist video get 50,000 views, then 500,000 overnight because you unburied it for testing purposes. Within hours, the regime notices the surge. They call you, they demand you bury it. You do. The video disappears from trending. It vanishes from recommendations. The activist gets 200 death threats from coordinated accounts, your accounts, written to look organic. You've learned something crucial. You don't need to be evil to do evil. You just need to be indifferent. You just need to rationalize. You just need to tell yourself, I'm not responsible for policy. I'm just a technician. I'm just executing orders. It's just code. You're asked to create a bot network. The network will impersonate the activist's own supporters. These fake accounts will post increasingly extreme content. The content will be violent. The content will be dangerous. And then the regime's actual media outlets will report on how dangerous and violent this activist's movement has become. The activist will be labeled a terrorist. And by the time the truth emerges, it won't matter. The narrative will have already been set. You do it. 3 days later, you watch the news report her arrest. Terrorism charges, conspiracy, weapons possession, fabricated. You go home, you eat dinner, you sleep fine. You've silenced a voice. You've eliminated an opponent, and you've told yourself a story that makes it acceptable.
Level 4, the psychological engineer. You're working with a new team now: psychologists, neuroscientists, behavioral economists. They're brilliant. They study cognitive weaknesses the way a surgeon studies anatomy. They map how human minds work, and then you exploit those maps. You learn the science. Confirmation bias. People believe narratives that confirm what they already believe. Repetition effect. Say something enough times and people believe it regardless of truth. Fear amplification. Fear is 5 times more persuasive than hope. You learn to weaponize the human brain. A new campaign emerges. The regime wants to prepare the population for war. A neighboring country is planning an invasion. It's completely fabricated. There's no evidence. There's no threat. But you're going to make 200 million people believe it. You design a 90-day operation. Day 1 to 30, plant rumors. Whisper that military movements have been detected. Share leaked intelligence, completely fabricated. Day 30 to 60, release official government warnings. Show staged military exercises as proof of the threat. Day 60 to 90, introduce a charismatic leader who promises to protect the nation. Make the population feel afraid and grateful simultaneously. By day 90, the population is terrified. They're begging the regime for protection. The regime goes to war, and you've psychologically manufactured consent for a war that never needed to happen. You receive a new assignment: psychological profiles. Individual civilians, families, children. You're given their demographics, their vulnerabilities, their fears. Your job: design targeted propaganda for each segment to maximize compliance and minimize dissent. You optimize propaganda for 12-year-olds, different hooks, different fears, different promises. You design messaging to trigger existential dread in parents, terror in the elderly, ambition in the young. You've stopped thinking of people as humans. They're data points, variables to be optimized. And that's the moment you became truly dangerous. Level 5, the dissent crusher. Your title has changed again. Director of Internal Narrative Control, which is a euphemism. You run the Suppression Bureau. Your job, identify influential dissidents and neutralize them without triggering international outcry. Your approach is surgical. Find the most popular dissenter, investigate their entire life, find leverage, fabricate evidence if necessary, then destroy them through coordinated narrative attack. You target a popular journalist. She's been writing truthful articles about government corruption. She's trusted by millions, so you destroy her. Your bots spread rumors about her personal life, completely fabricated. Your state media outlets publish investigative reports, lies designed to look legitimate. Her family faces harassment. Her employer receives pressure from government contacts. Anonymous accounts send death threats. Within 3 months, she's isolated, unemployed, broken. She leaves the country. The regime claims victory. The population learns the lesson. Speak out and you will lose everything. One of your junior coordinators comes to you. She's crying. She says she can't do this anymore. She's having nightmares. She wants to resign. She wants out. You're ordered to handle her. Do you let her leave, knowing she could expose the operation, knowing she might talk? Or do you neutralize her like any other dissent? You make the choice. You silence her. And in that moment, you understand. You're not a propagandist anymore. You're an enforcer. And enforcers don't get to quit.
Level 6. The Architect of Reality. You're promoted to Chief Information Officer. Your remit is absolute. Total monopoly over what the population sees, reads, hears, and believes. You answer directly to the regime's leadership. Your authority is nearly unlimited. You oversee the blocking of foreign media, the censoring of private conversations, the manipulation of search results, the fabrication of historical events. You've achieved something most people consider impossible: total information control. You commission a massive project, rewrite the nation's history. Historical figures who oppose the regime are erased from textbooks. Past atrocities are reframed as necessary. The regime's origins are mythologized. Dark chapters are deleted entirely. Within 3 years, the younger generation has no access to true history. They believe the fabricated version. Reality has been completely rewritten, and the population doesn't even know it happened. You also oversee the surveillance apparatus. Every citizen is monitored. Every phone call, every message, every search query. You know what the population thinks before they know themselves. You predict dissent before it emerges. You suppress it before it spreads. You've achieved godlike power, control over collective consciousness itself. Your own child asks you about a historical event, something you've taught them to believe, a fabricated narrative. They accept it without questioning. They trust you. They believe the lies you fed them. You realize even your own family now lives in the reality you've created. They believe your lies, and part of you is relieved. It means the system is working perfectly. You've achieved total information control, and in doing so, you've enslaved not just the population, you've enslaved yourself. You can never leave. The regime will never let you go. You know too much. You're too valuable. You're too complicit. Level 7. The Truth Crisis. A crisis emerges that you cannot control. A natural disaster, an economic collapse, a military defeat, an international crisis so severe that external reality contradicts the state narrative. The regime's story breaks. It shatters. People are suffering in ways you cannot spin. Video evidence emerges that contradicts official statements. The suffering is observable. The damage is measurable. The truth is undeniable. International media is reporting accurately, and despite your censorship, some of the population is accessing it. For the first time in your career, you face a crisis propaganda cannot solve. You can control information, but you cannot control physics. You cannot control chemistry. You cannot control biology. Reality always wins eventually. You're in a crisis meeting with the regime's leadership. They're panicking. They're asking you, why is propaganda failing? Why don't people believe us anymore? You have no answer. For the first time, you're honest with yourself. The truth is devastating. We lied so much that they don't trust anything we say anymore. We've destroyed the possibility of believing. We've won information control and lost the ability to communicate. We've built a system so effective at controlling lies that it cannot tell the truth. And now, when truth matters most, nobody believes anything.
Level 8. The breaking point. The weight of what you've done becomes unbearable. You've silenced thousands. You've orchestrated the arrest of hundreds. You've psychologically manipulated millions. You've rewritten history. You've destroyed lives. For what? The regime is no more stable. The people are no happier. You're just more powerful and more hollow. You start having panic attacks. You see the faces of people you've destroyed. The journalist you silenced, the activist you arrested, the junior coordinator you neutralized, the families you've traumatized. You realize you can't remember the last time you believed anything. You've lied so much that you've lost the ability to distinguish truth from fiction in your own mind. You're broken, haunted. You understand now. You can't go back. You've burned every bridge. Everyone around you is complicit. You can't confess without destroying your own life. You can't quit without being eliminated. You're in a cage you've built yourself. Someone offers you an exit, a foreign intelligence agency. They'll extract you. They'll give you a new identity. You can defect. You can tell the truth to the world. You can finally be free. But your family stays behind. You know what the regime does to the families of defectors. They suffer. They're imprisoned. They're tortured. They disappear. You have to choose your conscience or your family. There is no right answer. There is no escape. You had everything: power, wealth, status, respect within the regime. But in gaining the ability to reshape reality, you lost your connection to it. Now you're trapped in a prison of your own lives. Level 9. The irreversible choice. Security forces come to your office, but they're not arresting you. They're promoting you. The regime is accelerating. A new emergency has been declared. There's a new threat. Real or fabricated, it doesn't matter. The regime needs you to escalate. They need you to manufacture a new enemy. They need you to prepare the population for a transformation. They're going full totalitarian, and they need you to make it palatable to millions. You can refuse. You'll be disappeared. Your family will face consequences. Or you can accept. You can take this final step. This level of manipulation will be so comprehensive, so total, that you'll have absolute power over the collective mind, and you'll have absolutely no way out. You sit in your office. You have 24 hours to decide. You pick up the phone. You dial the regime's leadership. You say, "I'm ready. What do you need me to do?" In that moment, you've made your final choice. You've chosen power over conscience. You're fully, irreversibly committed. You're no longer a propagandist working for a regime. You've become the regime, and you'll never be able to separate yourself from it again. Level 10. The legacy. A decade passes. You're now the propagandist, the most powerful information architect in your region. You've shaped the beliefs of 200 million people. You've rewritten history. You've eliminated dissent. You've created a reality so artificial that the population lives entirely in a constructed world. But you're aging. You're watching a younger generation of operatives waiting to take your position, ambitious, hungry, just like you were. You're training them. You're passing down your techniques. You're perpetuating the system. You realize, even when you die, the system continues. The lies continue. The manipulation continues. Your legacy is an entire civilization built on fabricated reality. One day, you see a young activist, someone your system couldn't suppress. They're questioning the official narrative. They're trying to awaken people to the truth, and your immediate instinct is to destroy them. You've become the system. You are the regime. You're in a gray office, no windows. You slide a folder across the desk. A desperate young journalist sits across from you. You say the same words the director said to you decades ago. "We've been watching you. We know what you write. We know what you think. We know what you want. And we can give it all to you, but only if you help us reshape how the population sees reality." They nod. The cycle continues. And somewhere in this building, your replacement is already being groomed. The most brilliant propaganda system ever invented wasn't created by a regime. It was created by you. It was created by people like you. And the scariest part?
It works so perfectly that even you can't tell if you've escaped it or become it.